Hello folks, so here we are approaching August. So this month, of course, there's a lot of retrograde energy happening. So it's a month that we will be retracing our steps. It's a good time for reflection, lots of changes for fire signs. And you would have already been experiencing this for the last couple of months. So that continues. Yeah. Let's speak about the month of August. All right, so August starts the month with Mars, Mercury, and Venus in Leo. On the very first day of the month, we have a full moon in Shravan in Capricorn at approximately 15 degrees. This is a good moon cycle to get your tasks accomplished. You can get a lot done now. See where Capricorn, Cancer fall in your chart to see where you can be very productive. There are no aspects whatsoever to this full moon cycle. So it's going to be much more pleasant than than the July one. Yeah. August 7th, we have the first planetary shift of the month. On August 7th, Venus retrograde returns to Cancer. And that's when we have Venus going through the Gandant zone as well. Venus will now retrace its steps in Cancer and remain here until early October. Venus is in combustion for approximately 10 days, so from August 7th till approximately August 17th. So you may be going back to complete unfinished tasks, especially related to home-related matters, because we're talking about Cancer. So see where Cancer falls in your chart. It's a more peaceful transit, though, for Venus, because now it's outside of the gaze of Mars, Saturn, Rahu. Morning of August 16th, we have another new moon. You have another new moon in Cancer. We had one in mid-July in Cancer as well, but that was in Punarvasu. This one is in the Gandant degree of Cancer in Ashlesha. So, with Venus close by now, lots of focus on domestic matters, relationships, home issues, domestic issues. Family stuff would come up. Communications can be very emotional now. It's a fantastic time of letting go of unhealthy attachments to people and even reflect on what your values are, right? What your beliefs are. And think about whether they're good for you. I've made a separate video on the Venus retrograde transit, so I'm going to link that in this one so that you can listen to that to get a more detailed view about this transit. It's quite lengthy until September. Yeah. The next day, on August the 17th, after that new moon cycle, the sun moves into Leo. Of course, it's a comfortable spot for the sun, right? Here it's with its friend Moon and Mercury for the first few days, but also receiving the aspect of Saturn. Then we see Mars moving into Virgo on August 18th till October the 3rd. Here Mars will aspect Jupiter rather than the other way around, and also connects with Rahu here. Yeah, via aspect. We have another Mercury retrograde transit starting August 23rd till September the 15th, prolonging Mercury's stay in Leo. So let's talk about the signs. Yeah. For Aries, this is a month that can bring the spark back into your life. To begin with, Lagna Lord maintains its strong position in Leo, your 5th house. You may have faced some obstacles though with Saturn's aspect, but Mars has been dominant, so you will have the ability to overcome and use those same obstacles in your favor. Venus has also been a distraction here in Leo and could have led to some heated arguments with others. But that changes when Venus leaves on August the 7th, retreating back into your 4th house, which is an excellent Venus transit for you. First week of the month can be busy and you can get a lot accomplished. Full moon in Capricorn on the 1st of the month could have you taking some action in your career. You could be completing some tasks now as well related to your career. Jupiter's presence is strong now with Jupiter moving away from Rahu, and it can give you your confidence back. It's a good month for domestic matters with Venus in the 4th. Excellent for income if you're self-employed. You can gain via property, so you might want to look into that, buying, selling, or simply moving into a new home of your liking after that new moon on August the 16th. Mercury's movement through Leo can be difficult for communications. With Mars dominant there, speech and negotiations can be forceful. Yeah. You will not succumb, though, to your competitors at this time. And Venus in Leo sort of compounds the problem because others will have the upper hand. Yeah. But Venus moving back into Cancer, things improve a lot. Right? Domestic life will regain prominence for you as well. Lots of home-related matters will be on your mind. It could be just clearing the clutter in your house, redesigning your space, moving, buying real estate, selling real estate. It's an excellent time to spend at home, just generally, with your partner when Venus moves back into Cancer. Romance can feature now as well with this placement of Venus. You can meet someone new. If you do meet someone new, of course, go slow because it's a retrograde Venus. But this person can have a profound effect on you. It can be a very magnetic attraction, a magnetic connection. And this transit will last until October. There's a new moon here as well in your 4th house on August the 17th. Mars Lagna Lord moves into the 6th house on August 18th and will stay there until October the 3rd. If you're having any disputes or disagreements, now you can see victory and an agreeable ending. Hidden strengths can now come to the surface, especially if you're facing some health issue. You will now be able to find the answers. Keep things simple where possible because you can feel weighed down and stressed with so much focus on Aries. Saturn's retrograde cycle can help you complete some old work, career-related projects. If you had some pending karma related to old connections, now it can dissolve once and for all. This can also be connected to your image or your career in some way. First half of the month will be busy. Second half is better to take things easy. Yeah. Taurus, for you, well, you start the month with Lagna Lord Venus in the 4th house, normally a good transit. But with Mars in the 4th, this can bring up disputes in your close relationships, also with siblings, also with close associates. Venus moves back into Cancer, your 3rd house, on August the 7th. At this time, you'll want to escape your problems, and you'll manage to do so for a while. Venus back in Cancer is great for taking business initiatives, travel, spending time with your hobbies, to release some of that stress. August 17th, you also have a new moon here in Cancer, marking it a good time for taking some personal initiative. And it can be something that you're returning to from the past. Yeah. There is a full moon in Capricorn in your 9th house in the beginning of August. Great for travel, good for any educational pursuits, learning something new. Just being at home, but learning something new. With Saturn moving retrograde in your 10th house, old actions can come back to haunt you now. Its aspect on your 7th house is not good for marriage or close relationships, where you can be experiencing these challenges. Jupiter's aspect on the 6th can be good for health issues that may have troubled you, and it can bring some good news here. Be watchful of anxiety. You may have trouble sleeping with that Rahu moving through the 12th. It's good for making amends though with relationships that went sour. Mars in your 5th house moving into your 5th house on August 18th will be a relief for domestic matters. Peace will return to your life to some extent. Second half of the month is definitely better for you than the first. Gemini. Month starts with Mercury Lagna Lord in the 3rd house in Leo. Good for learning new skills, good for networking. It's also a good month for career progress, and earnings can get a boost as well. With Mars also there in that 3rd house, it can bring some disputes though, unnecessary fights. So watch your speech and don't get involved in gossip either at this time. It can backfire. Mars will help you take initiative though. It will give you energy levels. It will give your energy levels a boost. If you need to make decisions that impact long-term planning, do so before Mercury goes retrograde on August 23rd. Yeah. Relationships with siblings can suffer now. If there was some issue with a father, that can come to the surface now. Also, double check facts if you're taking advice from experts. Venus retreating back into Cancer is a good transit for you. The month actually starts with a full moon in your 8th house in Capricorn, which could bring some work-related issues. Surprises can crop up now. There can be conflicts now with Mercury and Mars in the 3rd house, especially if you're self-employed or if you have your own business. Conflicts can also spring forth from your immediate environment. You may not be getting along with people, like your neighbors, it could be. Just anyone you have frequent dealings with. Mars movement into Virgo on August 18th, your 4th house, can bring some relief, but it's not the best transit for your domestic life. There is another new moon in your 2nd house on August 17th, which can help you get sorted financially. It's a good time to organize yourself around this time, the new moon. If there are health issues, then this is the time to get yourself checked. Mercury Lagna Lord goes retrograde in your 3rd house from August 23rd till September 15th. Travel can come up now. Good time to revise, good time to reflect, especially on any communication related matter. If you're writing something, it could be articles, books, whatever it is. This is a good time for that. Good time to get some relief through your hobbies as well. Reaching out to friends, talking things out will bring clarity. Overall, 2nd half of the month is more peaceful for you than the 1st half. Cancer, what's happening for you? You'll be the focus this month. A change in your status could be your image, your relationships. That's all on the cards for the next couple of months. You have a full moon in your 7th house starting the 1st day of the month. This brings relationships, of course, to focus. Right? It's a good time for business matters too. You can see some progress now. 4th Lord Venus returns to Lagna on August the 7th. So you could be going back and forth with a property issue. A move may be in the cards, something that you've been thinking about for a while. And that can come up very suddenly. If you're employed, it's the time to negotiate a better salary. Money's on your mind with that 10th Lord Mars moving through Leo, your 2nd house. Great time to organize your finances. Mars going into Virgo on August 18th is another good transit for you, and it can bring up some very beneficial travel as well. New moon is again in your 1st house, as it was in July, on August 17th. At this time, you have Venus there as well. So you may be starting a new career chapters or your home life. There might be something new in your home life as well. Like a move could definitely be on the cards. You may also be spending a lot of time on home-related matters. So much focus is on that 4-10 angles, right? So it means that some foundation of your life is being redesigned somehow. It's a great time for managing property matters because the 4-10 axis is so strong. Sun moves into your second house on August the 17th, which puts the focus back on finances. Mercury there going retrograde on August the 23rd can cause problems with communication for you. So check and double check emails. Overall this month, the focus is on you, how you relate to others, your relationships, your domestic life. It's a productive month for you and you can see some good results. Yeah. Leo, what's happening for you? So you may have been under a lot of pressure with all of the planets aspecting Leo. This month starts with a full moon in your 6th house, but the majority of the planets are on the 1-9 axis. So excellent time for a health checkup if you needed it. It's excellent time to think big, to plan, to see the big picture, take steps to move towards your goals, especially when it comes to relationship matters. With that Dharma Trikona so strong, if there was ever a time to make your dreams come true, go for the plunge in any aspect of your life, then this is the time to do it. You're going to see quick results with Mars in the 1st house. Yogic Mars stays in Leo until August 18th. And it's a supportive transit for you, especially for matters connected to property, travel, and education, learning new subjects. All will be beneficial at this time. You'll start the month with Lagna Lord in the 12th house, which can make you feel a little bit introverted or maybe even zapped, like you may not have that much energy. The full moon there in the beginning of the month can make it a time where you're spending a lot of time just on daily tasks, just to complete daily tasks, habits, changing habits, work routines is going to be the focus. Venus also moves back into your 12th house on August the 7th, which can bring many opportunities from abroad. In fact, foreign connections can be very beneficial for you now. The new moon in your 12th house with Venus there also suggests long distance travel, bringing material benefits. On August the 17th, the sun moves into Leo, which puts you back in the spotlight. Mars goes into Virgo, your 2nd house, on the 18th. It's not the best place for Mars, but it can give a boost to money matters. It's also better that Mars is away from Mercury and Venus and out of the gaze of Saturn in Virgo. Yeah, you may, however, be reorganizing your finances. If you were looking for a loan, this is a good time. You may be spending a lot as well. From here, Mars aspects the 5th and 9th house where Jupiter and Rahu sit. So excellent time for self-care activities, travel. Yeah. Mercury going retrograde in the 1st house from August 23rd till September 15th can see growth slowing down for a little bit. Friends, however, can play an important role in your life this month, so reach out to them. The 2nd half of the month is quite busy for you. Yeah. Virgo, for you, the start of the month sees Lagna Lord Mercury in your 12th house with the Sun and with Venus. It's an excellent transit for travel. Something could come up suddenly. You can also see some big expenses come up suddenly as well at this time. There can be a separation from a family member or significant other with so much energy in the Dushtana houses this month. This is kind of an ongoing theme as well because of the placement of Jupiter and Rahu, right? In your 8th house. There can be a lot of activity behind the scenes this month. You can also experience a reversal of luck now with the 8th Lord in the 12th house and Jupiter's aspect. Investments could take a hit. You could see some losses there. If you can maintain the status quo, then that's the best thing to do rather than take any big decisions. If not, it's a beneficial month to have a disciplined practice because you may see a lot of out of the blue events happening. Venus moves back to Cancer on August the 8th, which is a good transit for you, especially a good time to go out and enjoy and connect with friends. It will be a big relief now. Sun also joins Mercury and Mars in the 12th house on August the 17th. But soon after, Mars moves into the 1st house on August the 18th. Right? This can be a shift for you. It's 8th Lord in the 1st house, so you may need to watch for health and stress levels now. You're in the process of many life changes, so something in your appearance can change now, or even your status, from single to coupled up or vice versa. That can happen as well. New moon in Capricorn on August the 1st is an excellent moon cycle for you. It's especially a good time to redo some aspects of your business. Good time to spend with your children if you have them. Full moon on August the 17th in Cancer in your 11th house is good for stirring ahead. You could get an unexpected break now to move forward with your goals. Mercury Lagna Lord going retrograde on August 23rd till September 15th in your 12th house is a great time for you to reflect on your life and your plans for the next 2 years. Especially concerning work and finances, right? So stay on top of your expenses this month. New moon in Cancer, similar to last month, is in your 11th house, August 17th, which can open up some new opportunities through your connections, through your friends, through networking, online, offline. It's a good second half of the month, especially to go out, to socialize, to network, to mingle with others. Yeah. Libra, the focus this month will start with friends, with networking, with socializing, with connections. For some, you will be able to secure new job opportunities now. The month starts with a full moon in your 4th house, so it's an excellent time to spend at home. If you thought about working from home, it's a good time to implement this now. You continue to host Ketu in the 1st and Rahu and Jupiter in the 7th. So much energy in the 7th and 11th house can make you feel extroverted. At least you will be in demand, so people will be seeking out your advice, your company. If you're single, it could be a time that you make yourself more visible. You get out and meet more people. It's still difficult energy, though, to attract a stable relationship. But it's an excellent time to go and meet people, date if you want to do that. It's an excellent time to do that. You have Lagna Lord going from your 11th to your 10th house. So great time to put energies into your work life. Many of you may be embarking on a new career or a new job. This is when you can see some old opportunities come back into your life. Lagna Lord Venus retrograde can make you feel zapped. So take time for rest and relaxation and reflection. There will be a focus on career, earnings, making strong connections over the next few months. If you give attention to long sought out goals now, you can achieve them. But you may have to try more than once for results because Venus is retrograde. Yes. Ketu in Chitra will make you reflect on what you need in a relationship and a relationship partner. You may feel the pressure from a relationship partner for a commitment, or you can see people coming into your life and leaving just as quickly. 7th Lord Mars moves into your 12th house. Meeting someone from abroad is a possibility. Old relationships coming back into your life is a big possibility now. As well, because of that, Venus being retrograde. And a relationship that has been troublesome for a while can quickly dissolve at this time. Sun moving into Leo mid-month is another positive Sun transit for you and can make you quite popular. Many people will demand your attention this month. A new moon again in your 10th house on August 17th can put the focus back on career. New opportunities can pop up very suddenly now, especially if you're looking for a new job. This is the time. Lots of focus on career and image the next few months. Yeah. Overall, it's a very good, productive month for you. Scorpio. For you, Lagna Lord moving through the 10th house may have put some pressure on you, especially with Mercury and Venus there. It can result in being in the spotlight at your work front, being pressured at your work front, or being pressured to make big life decisions, and being pressured in your intimate relationships as well. Venus moving back into Cancer on August 7th will be helpful in this regard. Back into the 9th house, it can make you more dedicated to studying, travel, improving your relationships, especially with your father. Not a great time to take advice from experts unless you're going back to make some adjustments in something that you already started. Old relationships can, of course, resurface now, especially from faraway lands, or especially if you're traveling. Month starts with a full moon in the 3rd house, which is good for getting organized at home, in your environment, in your immediate environment. It's a good time to change your routine for the better with that Jupiter Rahu in the 6th. Trying new regimes, spiritual practices is very, very good now. It can work wonders, in fact. There's another new moon in your 9th house around August 17th. Excellent for travel, excellent for self-study. Sun moving into your 10th house mid-month can bring some positive developments in your career. Something you've been waiting for and worked for, you can see now happen. Yeah, especially with that new moon there as well in your 9th house. Lagna Lord moves into 11th house from the 10th, which is another excellent Mars transit for you. So see if you can get away for a break. It will renew you greatly, especially since home life may not feel very satisfactory with that Saturn in the 4th house transit. Yeah. Overall, though, it's a good month for you, Scorpio. Yeah. Most planets are in favorable positions. Sagittarius, month starts with full moon in Capricorn in your 2nd house. Excellent time to check in with your finances, as well as to spend with your family. You can accomplish a lot now. 5th Lord in the 9th house can bring some favorable foreign connections and business from abroad. And travel, of course, can also feature. With a little bit of attention on personal goals, you can achieve a lot in the next 6 weeks. Yeah. Lagna Lord Jupiter is in the 5th house, which is a great boon. It's excellent for business pursuits, also any creative endeavors that you wanted to start. Sun moves into Leo, your 9th house, on August 17th, which is a great Sun transit. And we also experience a new moon again in your 8th house before the Sun moves. With Venus back into that 8th house, take care with any issues that come up, especially connected to your children, especially connected to your business if you have your own business. Mars moves into your 10th house on August 18th. This is the best transit this month for you. It's 5th Lord in the 10th house. It can bring some lucky breaks. Venus returning to your 8th can see some sudden developments in your finances, your love life. You can meet with some unexpected surprises at this time, especially from a past relationship. Yeah. It's a good month, and it's going to end with some surprises. Capricorn, what's happening for you? For you, the month starts with a full moon in your 4th house, and with Rahu and Jupiter in the 4th house, and the 8th house activated. It can be an emotional time for you, okay? Not an easy time, actually. 4th Lord in the 8th house, you can see some disruptions that were unexpected. It can certainly be related to your domestic situation, which may be unstable for some reason. Because it's a dignified position of Mars, the events that suddenly strike will force you to reorganize your affairs, eventually leading to a good outcome. Yogark Venus, we have to pay attention to Venus's transit. It returns to Cancer on August the 7th, which may mean that the domestic interruptions are connected to changes in your relationship, in your partnership. This is a life-changing transit for you of that Venus. And it can result in some breaks. It can result in separation from partner and family. So it can feel like an unsettling time at the moment. You can have a full moon. You have a full moon taking place in your 7th house again on August 17th, the same as it was in July, in the Gandant zone this time, confirming some instability with your relationship or your business partner. Shortly after this, the Sun, followed by the Moon, move into your 8th house, which can result in some sudden change. Or it could simply be a fear of change that you're experiencing at this time. You will see a shift when Mars moves into your 9th house on August 18th. And this will feel like a relief. It's 4th Lord in the 9th house. Again, it could be a change in your domestic atmosphere, quite possibly a move abroad or somewhere far away from where you live. Or you could be planning this move at this time. Mars aspects your 12th house from here. So it suggests some foreign connections can manifest at this time to help you out. Like the Lord in second house can continue to impact family life. There may be demands on you now. And money flow can also feel adversely impacted at this time. With Venus's long transit in your 7th house, a lot is happening connected to a relationship. Changes in your job can also support a residential move. And this could happen quite suddenly for you. A new moon again takes place in your 7th house on August 17th. And this can give you the opportunity to bring some closure or turn over a new leaf in your relationship as well. A lot is going on for you, depending on what dasha you're going through. I mean, we have to see that to understand how things will play out. Venus returning to the 7th house in August for a few weeks will have you seriously pondering over the state of your relationship and of your career. There are quite a few shifts taking place in your life at this time. And unfortunately, you'll have to surrender because there's so much 8th house energy predominant at this time. Yeah. Aquarius, what's happening for you? We start the month with a full moon in your 12th house. You can be feeling out of sorts now. With a strong Mars in your 7th house, this can bring some confrontations with your partner. There will be power struggles with others. If you ever thought about doing your own business, this Mars transit can give you a lift in the right direction and can bring people that can aid in this process for you. If you are in Sagittarius, if you are an Aquarius moon, then you can feel quite a lot of pressure now, especially in your relationships. Mars being 3rd lord can bring some obstacles in this regard too. So expect to try a few times to meet your objectives, whatever you're trying to do. There could be some disagreements with your younger siblings at this time as well. Since you have Saturn in the 1st house, career progress is on your mind and you could be going through some stress here. Pay attention to your health, as Saturn in the 1st house can be difficult here. Sun's movement into your 7th house mid-August can increase the challenges with the partner, with the spouse, or your business associates. Mars moving out of the 7th into the 8th also confirms this. Now is not the time you will be able to assert yourself, as others will have the upper hand. A new moon on August 17th, also in your 6th house, can bring some delays in your plans and aggravate relationships with your partner. You may be occupied with problems this month, some of them coming out of nowhere, some of them just popping out of nowhere. Venus Yogarika also returns to the 6th house, which confirms this, and it can bring some disruptions in your domestic life. A busy 3rd house can help you be active and sort of just keep going. Something physical will help to maintain the balance now. It can feel like a chaotic month, especially when it comes to your dealing with others. So take some time for rest and relaxation. Yeah. Pisces. For you, the month starts with a planetary stellium in your 6th house and a full moon taking place in your 11th house. So there could be some disputes that you're dealing with at the moment. When Venus moves back into Cancer, your 5th house, you can undergo a completely new direction in life. It could be pertaining to your business, your life path in some way can change. Full moon in Capricorn can bring some new opportunities your way. Lagna Lord Jupiter in 2nd house is a supportive transit for you. It can help to balance some of this erratic energy due to its aspect on your 6th house. Mars will move into your 7th house on August 18th, potentially bringing some confrontations. It's a good transit for students, and if you're in a relationship, then the spouse can be demanding now. Yeah, it's not the time to get involved in a new relationship, as you may not get a clear picture about the person. There's another new moon happening in your 5th house on August the 17th, with Venus there as well. Old flings can definitely return to your life now. So look out for that at this time. Sun moves into your 6th on August 17th, and it can put the pressure back onto work-related matters. Expenses can also be high this month. Don't take risks with money, especially quick money-making schemes at this time. It's a good month for those that have a business, though. If you're self-employed, you can have a good, steady month of profits now. This is a month where you will be dealing with some old problems cropping up again. Yeah. In fact, this month a lot can come up from the past, especially with relationships. Yeah. So, all the best.